Hey, everyone. Welcome to What Would Dorcy Do Friday. I am Dorcy Pruder, the CEO and founder of the Conscious Co-Parenting Institute. And I'm excited to be coming at you live today to talk to you about really some strategies that you guys can use to help you overcome some challenges and struggles, the things that you're experiencing with trying to reunite with your beloved children, or if you're a child, reuniting with your parents, and really creating the framework, if you will, of a mindset that'll help you really shift out of the struggle and out of the problem and into really being solution focused. And I just recently did a chosen parent collective. So for those of you who are in the collective, this will be a little bit of a rebrief. And for those of you that aren't, the chosen parent collective is a monthly call where parents get to come together with me and other parents, and I answer questions and do hot seats and really guide people through where they are in their reunification process. And it's a really powerful group because the Chosen Parent Collective is really focused on solutions. And this week, I really wanted to bring into the ethers, if you will, a different way to approach this family dynamic. And it's something I think about a lot, and it's something that I teach a lot, but I really wanted to make something very simple for you guys to understand the framework and really how your thoughts become things and how you can think about moving your family forward. And one of the things I think people don't realize is that oftentimes people are focused on the problem. And I talk a lot about the experts, right? There've been experts in this thing called parental alienation, and everybody's an expert on the problem. And so few people talk about the solution. And I've been talking about the solution since 2006. It's what I do. We're really solution focused. And I'm starting to see other people using our language. They're starting to say, I've seen the chosen parent. I've started seeing people's in their emails and stuff that I'm on. They're talking about solution focused coaching and solution focused therapy. And they're really starting to focus on the solution, which is really great, because when I started all of this, there really wasn't anybody talking about, there's all these people talking about the problem. And I'm excited that there's this shift. And one of the most important things to me about the shift is, the support system needs to be talking about the solution, but really you as the chosen parent, the leader of your family, or you as the child, maybe you're the child that's the bridge child in your family, or you're trying to figure things out from your parents' complex divorce, and everybody's so mired in this problem or these problems, they don't know what to do about it. So if a problem exists, a solution also exists. And so I want to help you guys shift from focusing on the problem to focusing on the solution. And I want you to take into account that great love and great achievements involve great risk. And it's important to take the risk to get to the place or the destination or the relationship or the goal that you are trying to achieve. So throughout our lives, we're really facing challenges in many, many different types of situations. And sometimes you may freeze up when you face with obstacles because you're unsure of what to do. So if opportunities pass you because your resolve to meet the challenge quickly disappears, I want to help you move to the place of seeing challenges as opportunities to seize and solve things. The good news is you can pass any test you face on the way to your goals, and opportunities that once passed you by can be turned into stepping stones on your way to victory. So on the path to recovering your family. And once you add a few simple strategies to your arsenal, you'll be completely unstoppable on your path to successful reunification. So any big challenge can be surpassed with just a few simple techniques to overcoming these challenges that will really spur you on and encourage you to live the life that you were born to live and to lead your family as the chosen parent out of the darkness, out of pathology, and back into the light and into connection. And instead of feeling fear, you'll feel confident when you approach these roadblocks in your life. And it's okay to feel fear. It's okay to feel overwhelmed, as long as you allow the fear and the overwhelm to propel you forward. So the truth is, anything worth having comes with some setbacks along the way and obstacles to overcome. So your willingness to face these challenges head on, they'll really determine the level of success that you'll achieve in your reunification process. So these strategies I want to talk about today that you'll learn here today will really help you in every single day, in every area of your life. These principles or these tools can help you with all of your challenges. And I really want to talk about that from a reunification perspective, but also from a general perspective. So if you take advantage of these, you'll discover that within yourself, a much stronger person capable of anything exists, and that when a problem exists, the solution also exists. You just need to connect the dots. And everyone suffers from fear from time to time. Some use the fear as an excuse to give up, and others use the fear to motivate themselves to achieve their dreams, to achieve reunification. The choice is really yours. Some people use fear to be lazy. You know, we had a parent say on the collective the other night, he really discovered through the call the other night that he had been lazy, that his communication with his child, that he wasn't really putting forth a strategic plan or really the proper effort in providing unconditional love for his child. And he was talking about learning in the lesson about intentions. And I talk about intentions are everything. Mindset plays a strange trick on us. We see things the way our minds have instructed our eyes to see them. So if you start to shift your mindset and you get it back on track, you can expect the best. So the first step in really overcoming any challenge is to expect the best out of the situation. So when you go into a challenge with the expectation of failure, chances are good that you'll fall short of what it is that you want to achieve. So your mindset going into any situation plays a really big role in whether or not you're going to come through it with success. And we read comments in the Alliance and on social media all the time. Sometimes people email us and they say things like, you know, you're woo-woo thinking, that's not going to work. Nothing works for me. You don't understand. The children aren't going to fall back in. They hate me, all of these things. And my simple reply is, well, you're right. If that's what you believe, then that is what you'll manifest. And even when your situation seems overwhelming and completely unbeatable, you can choose to think the best of it. You can find the good in any situation. You can learn from it. You can focus on solutions. And when you do that, you'll routinely turn the frustrations of your life into victories. Even if they're small victories, each small victory is a step forward. So these strategies I want to focus on in your mindset are first to expect the best. So use positive self-talk. When you're facing a challenge, do you find yourself saying, I can't do this? If that's the case, your self-talk is sabotaging your success. Instead, tell yourself, I can and I will. If you still can't stop saying I can't, you can say yet at the end. I can't yet. And then give yourself permission to make mistakes and learn from them. Resolve today that you refuse to give up until you reach the goal that you've set for yourself. You've reached the desired relationship you want to have with your children. So by simply changing what you say in certain situations, you can alter the way your mind thinks about really difficult circumstances. And then replace the negative thinking with productive thinking. I want you to think about the road before you in a way that really spurs you on towards reunification or whatever area or goal you're trying to achieve. So again, replace the thoughts of I can't or I'll never make it with productive thinking. Tell yourself, I'll figure out a solution. I've got this. Remind yourself that if the problem exists, the solution also exists. You just need to connect the dots. Then focus on the solution. So instead of the challenge, when something frustrating happens to you or is frustrating you, put your mind to work in a productive manner. Think about what's great about the situation that you're in. How can you make it the way you want it? This kind of thinking can only lead to success. So you have to remind yourself that the only way to fail is to give up, and instead resolve to keep putting one foot in front of the other until you reach your destination. And you have to believe in yourself. I talk about this all the time, and it's one of the things Dr. Childress talks about when he observes me facilitating a reunification workshop, is my belief in the participant's ability to learn and master skills and to do the work, to resurface the unbreakable bond, to be able to learn communication skills that are healthy. You have to believe in yourself. A lot of times the kids don't even believe in themselves when they work with me, and my belief in them is what causes the shift in them to make them see that they too can believe in themselves. So you're capable of amazing, amazing, amazing things. You just have to trust in your abilities, in your gifts and your talents, your ability to learn and improve yourself. So you have to reflect on your previous accomplishments. You're certainly not a failure in everything. You've succeeded at many, many things before, but you've just simply forgotten. So focus on previous victories, previous successes that you've had, and you'll feel confident to tackle any challenge. If you're struggling with a relationship, with the breach in a relationship with one or all of your children or anyone, think about when you've had a fight with somebody else and how you've repaired that. Undoubtedly, you've had breaches in relationships throughout your life. So I want you to think about that and the skills and your ability to repair those breaches. With the proper mindset in place, your talents, your desires, your ability will naturally draw success to you. It'll naturally draw your children to you. A lot of kids that we coach their parents, when they fold back in, they'll say, something in my parents shifted. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's this. They've shifted how they've thought about things, which caused them to shift how they're showing up. So even if you fall short, you'll make the most of the experience by learning from it and moving forward in a positive direction. And look for the silver lining. In every situation, there is a silver lining to be found and appreciated. Do you look at something that's hard and get easily frustrated about how difficult it is? Or do you always believe that the worst case scenario is the likely outcome? You can learn to think differently and to steer the ship of your life and your relationships in a completely different direction. What's the high point of the challenges that you're facing? Ask yourself that simple question. There's something positive about the situation you're in. What is it? What can you learn from this? How can you grow from the experience? How will this experience make you a better person? Maybe a better parent or a better partner, better boss, better employee? How will the events in your life alter your future for the better forever? I want you to think of a stressful situation that you're currently facing and take time to close your eyes and really ask yourself, what's great about this? At first, your mind will most likely answer something like nothing or I don't know. Continue to think about it until your mind gives you 2 or 3 satisfying answers. And it's the difference of thinking about solution versus spinning in the problem. So this difference is really one of the minor shifts that you can make that make massive shifts in your life. And it's thinking that everything is perfect when it's not is not going to solve anything. So instead of denying reality, you're giving your mind a more accurate and balanced picture of the reality. So allowing your mind to really realize that there are both positive and negative aspects of your current situation that really puts you in a more productive frame of mind. It puts you in a place to really deal with those negative parts of the reality better. So discover the lesson. Every situation has something to teach you. If you'll look at it, you can ask yourself, what can I learn from the challenge about my abilities and my circumstances? In what way does facing this situation really improve the quality of my life? What can I learn from this? I love the question, why am I choosing to have the experience? So if I'm spinning in my victim mindset and I'm feeling paralyzed, when I ask myself that question, that puts me back into the driver's seat, which puts me back in solution focused mindset. So the next steps you can take is steps towards solution. What will make it better? The only way you'll find solution to frustrations that you face, or alienation, or whatever is going on out here, is to look for them. So think of something in your life that frustrates you. Instead of thinking of all the reasons that it bothers you, think about ways that you can make it better. Is there someone that you can ask for help? Are there habits that you can change? Can you schedule time in your life differently? Maybe you need to hire a coach. Maybe you need to take one of our classes. We have a great class called Overcoming Obstacles that talks a lot about this, going deeper into that. The question you pose to yourself about your situation will determine your attitude, and your attitude will determine your chances of success. So you have to ask yourself why things are so frustrating, and your mind will return many reasons that you are frustrated. And you can ask yourself, how can you solve the dilemma that you face? And your mind will give you answers that you seek. You see, the solution already resides within you. You already know you're more powerful than you realize. You just simply have forgotten. Because when we experience a traumatic experience, when we're having a breach in a relationship that's important to us, we get in our trauma brain, we get in our lizard brain, we spin and spin and spin, and we forget who we are. And so if you spend your time complaining about your circumstance, you'll spin your wheels and stand on the very same frustrating ground, round and round and round. So instead of denying reality, make your reality better by asking yourself how you can affect things in a positive way. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. You are stuck, not moving forward. So stay away from unproductive what ifs. So I like the what if game because I can guide people through what if all the way down to the bottom and what if all the way up. But oftentimes people go through the what if game on their own unconsciously. So when you worry about what may happen in the future, you avoid the productive thinking that can make it all different in your life right now. You also miss out on the gifts that are found in the present moment. So challenges can help you grow as a person, or it can cause you to stop and do nothing. It can paralyze you, and the choice is ultimately yours. So you have to be strong and face what's in front of you. The more you face your fears head on, the more confident and motivated you'll become as you consciously step closer and closer and closer to healthier relationships. So the list of what ifs you face could go on forever and ever and ever and ever if you let it. What if I embarrass myself? What if I fall short? What if I'm rejected? What if my kids never reunite? What if it doesn't work? Your mind will answer those questions and prevent you from ever moving forward. And is this what you want? Or is this what you even deserve? So what if you ask yourself questions like, what do I do if it were impossible for me to fail? What would my life be like if I attained reunification with my children? What would life be like if I attained a healthy relationship with my mom or with my dad? What would my loved ones think, or how would my loved ones be affected by my success in doing this work? Who can I learn from that has already experienced the success that I seek? Who's further along in the journey than you? What small steps can you take today to really create an unstoppable, positive momentum towards your reunification success, towards the relationship that you so desire to seek? Can you see the difference? Just thinking about those questions makes you feel more powerful and in charge of your future, more in charge of your relationship and the destiny that you have. One set of questions makes you huff and puff and spin and feel frustrated. And the other set of questions gets you fired up, believing your success is inevitable. So with the right set of questions and productive thinking, you'll be a freight train without brakes that is destined for the train station of reunification with your family. So with a successful mentor and a positive, productive approach, you'll continue moving forward until the success you envision comes to pass in your relationship. So worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrows. It empties today of its strengths. So take advantage of the resources available to you. Solutions may come in several different ways. They may come and help from other people. Has anyone you know gone through a similar circumstance and come out successfully? Pay attention to who you're surrounding yourself. Pay attention to the videos that you're watching and the groups that you're in on social media. Are they focused on the problem? Do they focus and complain? Or are they doing what I'm doing here, giving you tools and resources so that you can move your life forward, so you can think differently, so you can reunite with your children? If you have people that are around you, ask for help. Don't just let the idea or watch the train move in front of you and not move yourself forward. If you've been a little bit further in the journey than other people, help somebody else. If you see somebody struggling, give them a step, their next step moving forward. This actually helps people, and the more people you help get what they want, you will get what you want automatically. Okay? Ask your friends and family if they face challenges similar to yours, or maybe people in the group. You can ask a perfect stranger. Listen to what they have to say and see if you can implement their ideas into your own situation. Do your research. You can succeed even if you lack some knowledge about the path that you must take. The web obviously is full of stuff, but again, make sure that you're paying attention to things that are focused on solution and not things that are focused on the problem. So you can look online, you can watch websites, you can watch videos. Please go to our YouTube. There are tons and tons of videos that I have out there about this very subject, about reunification. And use creative thinking. Out of the box thinking will help you see the situation in a whole new perspective. So brainstorm new ideas and consider the benefits of each idea as a possible solution. The belief that there are lack of resources has hung on many a man, and make sure that you understand that there is no lack of resources. There's plenty of information out there. And the last thing I want to share in this process is that you need to make a plan of action. Starting today, map out your plan of reunification. What's the step that you need to take? If you don't know what the next step is, then your next step is to find out what the next step is. Okay? So whether you complete the first step, then you need to take the next step. So what do you do after that? Coming up with a game plan is simple. All you do is list the steps that you must take in order. You can tweak and improve your plan as you receive feedback on what is and isn't working. And the first draft of your plan is usually a preliminary list of the steps that you can take towards your reunification success. So for example, let's say you're battling a fear of heights. You can have a plan of action to go to a high place, maybe a place that's surrounded. You can take a step up. Maybe you can take a deep breath or slow your breath when you're feeling anxiety. Maybe you can take another step up. Maybe you can take another breath and remain calm and then take another step up. These are simple things that you can do to start moving yourself towards your goal. So same thing with reunification. I talk about reunification all the time. I talk about all the ways that you communicate with your child to pour unconditional love into your child. The first step may be just sitting down and putting together a repertoire, a whole treasure chest of ways that you can communicate with your child so they feel loved by you. How do they feel loved? Maybe it's reading the book, The 5 Languages of Love, and understanding what is your child's love language. There's one for kids. When you read it, you'll quickly know what your child's love language is. If you have more than one child, they'll probably have different love languages. So make sure you're looking at that and you're paying attention. This is your plan of action to start conquering your reunification with your children. Maybe it's your plan of action because you're a child and maybe you've been court ordered to do reunification therapy and the therapist isn't really getting what's going on and you're feeling really frustrated, and maybe you're coming into this awareness that you want to be in relationship with both of your parents, but maybe the professionals aren't even supporting you. You too can put a plan together. You can bring that plan to the therapist to say, I need this help. So a good plan is like a roadmap. It shows the final destination and usually the best way to get there. And sometimes the best way to lay out a roadmap is to simply brainstorm, write down your ideas for possible tasks that you can do. And what is your first step? What is your best next move? You can always edit the list later. Whatever you decide to do, write your list quickly and then get started on the very first thing. Your task list and plan will evolve as you progress towards your reunification. Gather feedback, have an open mind, and learn from other people who are a little bit further along in the journey than you. And take decisive action. Once you set out your plan of action, take the first action step. Immediately, instead of sitting around and looking at your plan, hoping things work in your favor, hope is not a strategy, make things work in your favor by taking the first step forward. And this will really create the momentum and it will motivate you to really truly believe in the probability of your reunification. Hope is the stepping stone to possibility thinking, and possibility thinking is required to probability. You can't have a probability of an action if you don't have possibility, which comes from hope. If you're feeling hopeless, then the first thing you need to do is to write your list so that you can see that there are things that you can do, even if it's one thing on your list. Following through is the key that unlocks your success. You're strong enough to accomplish anything if you want and if you're willing to follow through. So as you go, notice what's working and celebrate those victories. You have to celebrate as you go along, even if they're just little things. Notice what's not working and tweak your plan as you go, learning from your mistakes and seeking the advice of successful people that you trust. The hardest part about accomplishing reunification or really any goal is getting started. And the good news is that once you move in the right direction, you'll be unstoppable if you choose to be. Challenges that seem insurmountable right now when you begin your journey will seem like stepping stones that propel you upward and forward towards reuniting with your children. So troubles along the way simply serve as feedback. They serve as markers that tell you that a course correction is required. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. So see them for what they really are and allow them to really help you on your journey. Remember that the path to your reunification is far from a straight line. You'll meander to the left and meander to the right, and you'll achieve what you seek when you keep moving forward. So whether you succeed or fail is entirely 100% up to you. Often you have far more ability and creativity inside of you than you actually think. And even when you lack these things, someone else who's already succeeded at reuniting with their children, they can show you the steps and strategies that you need. That's what we do here. That's what these videos are all about. So our YouTube channel and the Conscious Co-Parenting Institute is all about. Your successful reunification awaits you, and it's worth the effort. We can't do it for you. No one will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Your children need to see you on the front line. So you got to learn from your challenges. Learning from your challenges is really the key factor that separates successful people, successful parents who reunite with their children, from those who wish their future was better, who wish their children would come around, the parents that sit around waiting for their children to come around someday. So when you take the time to reflect on the things that you've accomplished and how you got there, you'll find patterns that you can repeat for many other areas of your life. Just look what makes you successful in other relationships. Why make the same mistake again and again when you've already learned how to succeed? You've got to go look. You're more powerful than you realize. Every situation is different, but often the same creative approaches and tactics that you've applied in these previous situations can be applied again to overcome new challenges. So when you succeed, write down the steps that you took and the results you got. Let this be your reunification success journal that you refer to again and again when making plans for new endeavors. And as an added benefit, you'll grow as a person when you reflect on your successes. Too often, we will vividly remember our failures and our shortcomings, but there are so many things in your life that you've actually accomplished. Magnify those things by taking the time to remember and celebrate those victories. And when you're doing that, do that for your child as well. One of the things that we do as parents is we simply forget to catch our children being good. When our children are caustic and nasty, or they're struggling with a divorce and we're experiencing that, we forget who our authentic child is. Take the time to remember those too, the successes that your child has had, the kindness that your child has within them, their authenticity. Remind yourself of those things so that you can remind your child, that you can focus on that as you're moving back into the container of reconnection with your child. When you take the time to meditate on your successes and think about them and journal them, you'll begin to jump at the chance to go after new and more challenging goals. So instead of cowering in fear, you'll welcome the pressure because you know the talents and ability that you possess are perfect for overcoming any obstacles. Just remember the negatives too. Thinking productively requires you to focus on the downsides too. We all make mistakes, and the key though is to learn from those mistakes. Decide today that you'll welcome mistakes as opportunities to learn and grow. So when you do, nothing can stop you. As you reflect on the steps that you've already taken to reach your reunification or reunite with your child, and you begin to create the plan to conquer your next challenges, ask yourself, what obstacles did I overcome to meet my challenges so far? How do I overcome the new obstacles or challenges? What can I learn from my past challenges that can help me be a better person in the present and in the future? And how can these lessons improve the quality of my life and my relationships? Productive thinking is a balanced approach. If you ignore the positive things that you've achieved in your life, you'll miss the value of those accomplishments. If you ignore the challenges that you face and the lessons they bring you, you'll miss the value in those as well. So together, your successes and lessons are the teachers. They're the tour guide that will lead you to a fulfilling relationship that you so desire to seek to have with your children. The dream life that you've always decided to have or desired to have. So you have to envision that, write it out. What is it going to look like? When life gets scary, read your success journal and remind yourself what you're capable of. When the negative voices inside you want to close your dreams before you get started, your success journal can silence the inner voice and move you forward, propel you forward. The only thing that separates a successful reunification or reunited parent from the ones that don't is the willingness to decide what you want, to take action, and to respond effectively to the feedback that you receive as you go. Learning from others can make the process so much easier, but you have everything inside you to succeed already. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. So this was a long one today. I hope that you take these lessons and implement them. Take some time this weekend, write out your success journal, focus on your authenticity, the skills that you already have, the challenges you've already overcome. And I'll see you next week on What Would Dorcy Do? Just remember, you have to have peace in so you can have peace out. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.